Namaskar, welcome to yet another special presentation in the APAC Smart and Sustainable City Conclave being hosted by Smart City Thiruvananthapuram Limited, Government of Kerala, and organized by APAC News Network. We are at the end of the day two of 3 day virtual conclave with participation from over 20 state governments, smart city CEOs, and key decision makers from the sustainable urban development ecosystem. Now we have with us a special guest, a speaker from the Housing and Urban Development Corporation, Government of India, Mr. M. Nagaraj, who is the Director Corporate Planning. Thank you very much, Mr. Nagaraj. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
So with this, I would we would like to have your special presentation. Over to you, Mr. Nagaraj.
A very good afternoon to all of you. It is indeed my privilege to be part of this virtual conclave of the Asia Pacific News Network on smart cities and sustainable cities. At the outset, let me congratulate Smart City Thiruvananthapuram Limited and APAC News Network for organizing this very important event on the theme of smart and sustainable city. At a time when entire India is focusing on kickstarting its economic growth after COVID-19 pandemic through strengthening its cities and their infrastructure base, thereby achieving the sustainable developmental goals. As we all know that India is home to 1.38 billion people, we are in need of inclusive, resilient, and sustainable habitat. Urbanization in India is taking place at a faster pace than ever before. It is estimated that every minute around 30 people are migrating to cities from rural areas due to various reasons: health, education, employment, livelihood, etc. Some of the states are ahead in the race, like Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Haryana, and at the same time, some of the states are lagging behind and yet to catch up with these states like Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha. If this trend continues, urban population is likely to reach 600 to 700 million by 2030 from mere 17% at the time of independence. We need to build around 700 to 900 million square meters of urban space per year, which is almost to the size of a Chicago city in the United States of America. In fact, cities have become the engines of socio-economic growth, contributing more than half of the GDP to the countries. India is expected to become the second largest urban system. Thus, we need to manage our cities, and urbanization challenges would be a very critical factor. With higher share of urban poverty and unmet basic services, India holds the key for implementation of new urban agenda and sustainable development goals, especially sustainable development goals number 1, 2, 5, 9, 11, and 13. Further, the implementation of National Urban Agenda contributes to the implementation and localization by 2030 agenda for sustainable development in an integrated manner, including goal 11 of making cities and women settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Sustainable development policy prescribes planning frameworks for better urban governance, flexible and dynamic planning for inclusivity and equity through data-driven intelligent systems. Rather than funding conventional infrastructure, the restructuring and regeneration of smart cities advocates smart communication or ICT infrastructure, smart mobility, smart living, smart economy, smart environment, smart governance, and smart citizens. In in this context, Government of India, through Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, has launched Smart City Mission in the year 2015 with an initial outlay of 48,000 crores was momentous and first of its kind, in line with the smart cities in global and Asia Pacific countries. In addition to Smart City Mission, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has launched one more very important program, that is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, which is the world's biggest affordable housing program. This cannot be compared anywhere on earth. Further, government has also come out with Amrit, Hriday, then Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. All these missions are contributing to the urban development. The funding and investments are to the tune of 2 lakh crore. 45% of these funds are provided through smart city missions, 25% through convergence schemes, 21% through PPP models, 13% through other investments. The key sectors are socio-economic development, urban mobility, transport, area development, water and waste management, energy and environment, and ICT solutions. Not only these programs are vital ingredient for India in order to achieve 5 trillion US dollars economy by 2025. In fact, it is the foundation to move towards the 10 trillion economy by the year 2030. We have already witnessed in the yesterday, we would have all seen in the national newspapers, Honorable Prime Minister of India has already reviewed the infrastructure project, which has given a great importance through this year's budget. And most of them have appreciated this. This is one of its kind post-budget review by a topmost authority. That shows that governments focus completely on infrastructure investments. Going forward, the smart city initiatives need to be scaled up, and the emerging issues and challenges need to be addressed in order to make cities smart and sustainable. In this context, especially for a Kerala, if one looks at the features of smart city as contained in the mission guidelines of smart city, the range of possible development activities that the city of Thiruvananthapuram can undertake is vast and varied, ranging from developing IT solutions for its urban services, creating walkable localities. However, keeping in view the pride of the people of Kerala to take its achievements in human development indices like high literacy rates compared to any parts of other parts of country, it would be worthwhile if concerted efforts are made to implement a unique smart initiative that has brand recall in the smart city mission on the lines of the very famous and a very successful slogan of God's own country. Achieving a city development pattern that takes the city of Thiruvananthapuram to maybe carbon neutrality in a set up time frame could be a possible target. The government may look into it and maybe take a very challenging time frame to achieve this. Given the fact that 8 of the top 10 largest cities in the world are located by the coast, and Kerala has an advantage, especially in some of the cities which are located in the coast, that the projections show that even more and more people are moving towards coastal towns, which we have already witnessed in our India, especially some of them like Mumbai, even Mangalore, Vishakhapatnam, Chennai, almost all the coastal cities. So huge migration is taking place. Maybe Thiruvananthapuram should strive for a development pattern under the smart city project so that it can be replicated by other coastal towns around the world. Like maybe I can say that Tokyo and that kind of thing, maybe it can be thought of. Not only these government of India's mission programs are vital for India to achieve the $5 trillion economy by 2025. In fact, I feel it is the foundation to move towards the 10 trillion economy by the year 2030. The government has set an ambitious target to implement infrastructure projects worth, as I already mentioned, 1 lakh 11, 111 lakh crore by 2024 through NIP. From the financial investment point of view, the national infrastructure pipeline as well as the India investment grade, which is a single window for attracting foreign investment in India, as it showcases smart city projects and investment opportunity are important touch points. Other innovations for municipal resource mobilization that the city government should take advantage are the favorable government policies for raising resources in the form of municipal bonds for timely completion of all the existing developmental or infrastructure projects. Financial discipline for improving accounting practices in all the departments of the city and bettering the city rating by rating agencies and regulators like SEBI. The challenges of poor financial accounts over the past years and lack of regulatory framework and lack of demand are obstacles faced by some of the municipal bodies. In this regard, recently, some of the urban local bodies like Lucknow Municipal Corporation has come out with a municipal bonds, which is around 200 crores, which was successfully raised, and in fact, it has been oversubscribed in the very first minute of opening the show. The In fact, we can say that this has given a roadmap or raised awareness wherein other urban local bodies can also raise their resources in the similar fashion, which will be augmenting the resources for infrastructure financing. It was learned that the coupon rate provided by these bonds are around in the range of 8.5%, and based on sound financials through setting up of escrow account from the revenue stream of property tax and other fee which is being collected by the municipalities. The bonds, in fact, has been subscribed by some of the high net worth individuals also. And these also have the backing of Infra Development Fund of UP. Coming on heels on this success, maybe some of the municipalities also planning like Ghaziabad, Varanasi are in the race to raise municipal bonds. The role of HUDCO in infrastructure funding is that HUDCO has been a very, very important ally of the Government of India in all its mission programs like Smart City Mission, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Amrit, and its presence in all states of the country for contributing to the housing and infrastructure development is irrefutable. In fact, we're a 50 years old company, contributed tremendously in a pan India presence. So we are a specialized premier techno financing institution in the field of housing and urban infrastructure. We have authorized share capital of around 2,500 crores and a paid up of around 2,000 crores. Total balance sheet size is around 78,000 crores, out of which around 60% of the funding has gone towards housing and 40% towards urban infrastructure. And even in housing, 90% of our funds have gone to especially economically weaker section and lower income group, which is a affordable housing category. You can see that our parameters are one of the best in the industry with the lowest NPA levels of 0.5% in the sectors. So far, ADCO has sanctioned around 17,283 houses schemes with a cumulative loan of more than 2.2 lakh crore, and disbursement is almost to the tune of 1.9 lakh crore in implementing various housing and urban development programs across India. Some of the projects which smart missions can also borrow, like water supply, sewage, solid waste management, area development, power, roads and highways, ports, airports, transport, social and commercial infrastructure. So we have almost all kinds of components of smart city ADCO can fund. I wish the program very best and this and all the best too. And thank you so much for the organizers to giving me a small opportunity to share my thoughts. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful presentation, and especially regarding the financing, especially about the bonds. And um, this corporation is not just in Delhi, but it deals with the many smart cities, supporting financially as well in terms of infrastructure.